Okay, I'm ready. Hi, my name is Davika. I'm a representative from IBM.
Hi, Davika. Nice to meet you. My name is Maite, and I work here at Chorus.
It's very nice to meet you too, Maite. Do you have any plans for this upcoming weekend?
Nothing too crazy. I think I'm just going to the movies with my family.
That sounds fun. Well, I do want to be respectful of the short time that we have today. I know we only have about 10 to 15 minutes. Is that still okay with you?
Yeah, that'll work just fine.
Okay, perfect. And is it okay if I take some notes during our meeting as well?
No, of course, go for it.
Thank you. So I do want to ask you a little bit more about what your role at Chorus is and a little bit more about your platform Chorus. So if you could please explain and elaborate more in detail on that, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'm the Chorus trainer here at Chorus. So essentially what I do is I teach others how to use Chorus as well as use it for myself. And then just a little more about Chorus itself. It is a coaching tool. So essentially what Chorus does is it listens into a conversation or a call, and it can provide feedback at the end of the call about how many times one individual is speaking over the other, all the filler words that were used, and it just gives you analytics and statistics on that call that you just received.
Awesome. So you did mention that you were a trainer at Chorus. So is the platform difficult to use, or do you think that using Chorus is relatively easy?
I believe Chorus is relatively easy as long as you understand how it works. One of the features of Chorus is the calling Chorus into your call so it can listen in and analyze it as it goes. I think that would be the most difficult part, just getting it incorporated into the call that you're having. But other than that, it's really simple. It records for you, and then afterwards, it gives you all the feedback once it's processed the video. It lets you know how well you did and some of the areas you can improve on.
That's awesome. I'm glad that your clients can use this as a coaching tool, like you mentioned. So, what are some of your favorite features that Chorus currently has?
I would say my favorite feature is when it provides the information on how long you spoke for. Before using Chorus, I used to talk way too much, and I learned that through Chorus itself. I used to dominate the conversation and not let others put their input in.
Yeah.
So after Chorus, I was told, or once Chorus informed me of how much I did speak, I realized I needed to cut back, take more time to listen to the other individual speaking, and it really has improved and helped me. So I'd say that's one of its best features.
Awesome. Yeah, that is a great feature. So, after your meetings, you mentioned that you got all this feedback. So, how long does it take for you to receive feedback from Chorus?
So Chorus provides instant feedback. So
Awesome.
once the meeting has ended and you've let Chorus know that, after a few seconds up to a minute, I would say Chorus gives you all that information that you need. It just needs a little bit of time to process everything that occurred, but after that, it's pretty instant feedback.
That's wonderful. And does this feedback stay saved into Chorus's system, or does it expire after a certain amount of days?
Yeah, so it stays under your recordings, and you can label them however you may please, and you can file them and save them so that that information is always there, and you can go back to it and make sure that you have a good understanding of how all the meetings went.
That's great. And as a trainer, have you witnessed Chorus help yourself or anyone else in your workplace improve on their meetings?
I most definitely just by the way I communicate with others now and how I've seen some of my other colleagues communicate with others, I've seen a massive improvement, and we speak more adequately now, so we don't use as many filler words, and we make sure that we're giving enough time for each individual to speak. So I think it has improved on our communication skills greatly.
That's really great to hear. So, what I'm hearing you say is that Chorus right now really helps with communication and getting all this data from your previous meetings. It uses that to enhance your own improvement when it comes to speaking with the clients further. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, that's correct.
So, I did want to ask, when you meet a new client initially, when that first meeting happens, do you have any preparation or any coaching tools that you can use for that first meeting or that initial meeting? Or do you have to wait for data to be collected after the first one and use it in your second or third meeting?
So Chorus does not provide any coaching or coachability beforehand. It is all after the fact. So besides the regular me just making sure I know who my client is, the position they're in, and what they're looking for, I don't really get any coaching from course at all.
Okay, so what do you think is one of the hardest parts of not knowing who the client is prior to speaking with them?
I would say just figuring out how it is that they communicate. Like, I'm sure every person communicates differently, and if I knew or understood how they preferred their method of communication, I'm sure I could suit them more comfortably or help them in any needs that they may have.
Of course. And you mentioned that course doesn't currently touch on this. So is there any way that you or other individuals in your workplace are currently learning about their clients prior to that initial meeting or feedback from Chorus?
Besides the typical just Google search or maybe search on LinkedIn, making sure we're connected and trying to see maybe their social media or something, no, there's not really much that we can do to find out about the client beforehand.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is that Chorus is a great coaching tool, but it's mainly used for not the first meeting, but meetings that have been happening many times. So the second or third meeting that you've had with this client, then your data can be used for improvement. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. So I did want to introduce to you one of the products that we do have here at IBM, and it is called Tone Analyzer. So with Tone Analyzer, what you can do is actually get insight into your clients before even having that first meeting. So knowing about your future prospects ahead of time can really, really help you with knowing what's their best approach when it comes to buying your product that you're selling. So with Tone Analyzer, what you can do is you can get an insight about the person's personality, as well as get an analysis of the text that they have written, such as emails that you had back and forth with each other, or text messages that you've had, or even some social media feed. If they're active on Twitter or on LinkedIn, you can use those bodies of text to further analyze and get more insight into their personality. So with these algorithms, we can find out a very accurate and precise measurement on the person's personality, therefore preparing you more for that initial meeting. Because I do know how important that first impression is, so we want to make sure that with Chorus, we are improving through coaching, but you're also prepared for that first initial meeting. So is Tone Analyzer something that interests you to add on to Chorus?
I am most definitely interested, especially speaking on the fact that Chorus doesn't provide anything beforehand. It sounds like Tone Analyzer would be a really useful tool in providing that information and that background for those clients that I will meet, even before ever meeting them. So I'd be very interested in seeing how it works.
That sounds great, and I would love to go into more detail with you in a follow-up meeting. And I'd love to show you a demo of how Tone Analyzer can work to improve your coaching and your Chorus calls as well. So does this time next week work for that follow-up meeting?
Yeah, this time this week works really well.
Okay, awesome. Then I'll go ahead and set up that meeting, and I will give you a call at that time. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do so.
Okay, yeah, thank you for speaking to me. I really appreciate it.
I hope you have a great day. Bye.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.